All right, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
On this episode of the Culture Smash Cast,
there's going to be a paranormal inactivity in Regal Theaters this fall.
Box and Marble make babies.
And Quentin Tarantino takes his show on the road. All this plus Zach gets beat up by two guys today. It's like getting gangbanged.
Wait, what did I agree to?
That was perfect.
nice. Too late now. Too late. No takebacks. All right.
Saying you agreed to it implies that there was a choice.
It's true.
It's valid.
All right. I did not do an opening story because we have a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of us here, so I figure it's going to go on for a minute.
Okay.
So I just skipped the opening story. Plus, all the like news of the weird shit was terrible.
Yeah.
It happens to me once in a while when I'm tired. All right, here we go. It's the Culture Smash Cast, episode 379 for October 15th, 2015. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of CultureSmash.tv. To the left of me.
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
And at the big boy table.
Catherine Holder, contributor to CultureSmash.tv. And I can say that with pride now.
It's true.
Because it happened soon.
It did. At the end of the table.
And Mike Young, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
See, we have a couch full this week, too. In the center.
Nathan Savino.
That means you're the, the old thing. If you're in the center. I don't want to say it because I'm trying not to be explicit.
Do we have
The
a
old
train
thing.
here or something?
Oh, what? Yeah.
Is this
To
a
me,
main
the
train?
old thing.
Kind of is.
I'm the main event.
That's true.
That's why I'm getting it from both sides.
Nice. And sitting beside you on the right there.
Zach Martin, contributor to themantrain.com.
Nice. Probably. It's good to know.
I'm also on CultureSmash.tv.
I don't know. Wait, I don't know if it's good to know or not.
Just gave you the willies.
All right, and then we have a special guest with us today. It's sitting in to see what the show is all about. You want to say your
Matt Goldman.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna get into movies really quick because we don't have an opening story because there's a lot to talk about. But while I set something up here, Zach, why don't you tell us about Crimson Peak?
All right, well, just getting right into it. Tuesday night, I got to go to an advanced screening of Crimson Peak in IMAX. And going in with basically no expectations other than Pacific Rim job was terrible.
It sure was.
I loved it. I really dug it. It was a gothic...
Probably because it was more Pan's Labyrinth than Pacific Rim Job.
Yeah, and it was one of those films to where, I never say this, but dear God, the sets and costumes are outstanding. If this doesn't get an Oscar nomination, like, for real, like, every single piece of clothing, I was like, that is, like, awesome. I never say that about movies. Ever.
Really?
Yes,
You
I
never
never
say
do.
something like that? You don't?
I never.
Really?
Actually, I'm thinking back, and I can't remember
Game of
Zach
Thrones,
ever
I've said that before.
gushing about set decoration.
I don't think I've ever heard him talk about a movie where he's just not gushing about how good or bad the aspect ratio is.
It's
So
true.
it is
Well, actually, here we go.
It does
Now
the
you got it.
185 to 1 aspect ratio wonderfully, and it does. I would actually recommend the IMAX for it.
It's not 3D though, is it?
It is not 3D. It looks good on a big screen.
But isn't it IMAX in the IMAX it's just blown up?
It's a 185 to 1 aspect ratio on the IMAX. Like, what do you want?
More.
More?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to need to get IMAX laser.
We want 20 to 10 aspect ratio.
Exactly. And I want it in
So
that.
like 276 to 1, right?
And I want it in that new 65 millimeter
276 to 3,
aspect
'cause
ratio.
It's gotta be
Oh,
better.
so it's like super
The
narrow.
the numbers are. You're too concerned with what the numbers actually mean.
Okay.
Everybody
16
else,
by 9.
everybody else knows that bigger numbers are better. Yes.
I am-
16 by 9.
I am actually afraid though, because he texted me
36 by
after this
18.
raving about the movie,
I love
and
it.
I'm really afraid, based off the critical
I
review,
don't
that this is
understand
going to be
that,
another
though.
Babadook. He was like, "Oh, Babadook, scariest movie I've ever
it was
seen."
not.
It was not.
How about this?
Even
When I went
close.
into Crimson Peak, there were no reviews, so I can't base my judgment on any reviews that I've seen prior to it.
Does that happen a lot for you?
They're kind of like if you go in. Okay, if you go into a movie that has 2% Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah.
you're not expecting a good movie. You're hoping for something.
I'm expecting a good time if it's a 2%.
Yeah, exactly.
You're hoping for a guilty pleasure or getting drunk. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not expecting. Oh my God, that was one of my favorite movies ever. So going into it, I was like, okay, well, just hope it's good, and it was good. Tom Hiddleston is great in this.
How was the sex scene? Would it make Tina happy?
Yeah.
Probably would.
Is 45 seconds long enough?
For
I don't know, Nico.
she'll make
Is
do.
45 seconds long
That's longer than most American men.
Oh,
Well, he is
no.
British.
That's true. He
To
is
be perfectly honest, the scene is not about the sex. It's a plot point.
Well, it depends on who's watching it.
I was
really.
about to say, with Tina, it's about the sex
It
scene.
totally
Okay, you
is.
get to see Tom Hiddleston's like half a butt, and
She'll be
then
happy.
She'll be half happy.
It quickly fades to black.
Well.
Oh.
I'm sorry if you were expecting more.
Is it because of a zoom?
Back to black.
But
I love it.
it was a brutally violent, beautiful, and it had a lot of scenes of tension. Like, I know I don't say this a lot, but during this film, like, there was 3 moments where I'm like, my heart is like really
So
pounding.
basically-
Yeah, and I remember this same thing with Babadook. So scary.
45,
No, it's not
40,
scary.
45 seconds of tension.
It is not
Mm.
scary.
45 seconds of tension and then 45 minutes of a nap.
How about this? The last 15
Is that enough?
minutes. That's enough. The last 15
Come on
minutes of
in.
this movie are absolutely outstanding. Del Toro is back. Okay, that's all I have
Nice.
to say. 9 out of 10. Go see it.
How are you?
All right.
I'm actually supposed
well,
to be seeing it tomorrow.
and we actually, those of us going to Universal, need to see it because there's a haunted house at Universal based off this movie. So
If you're
I'm gonna-
coming to this movie
Come on
based
in.
on Ghost,
I'm
you
just
are-
up.
So we have another member, guest in the audience. Just pull a chair out from behind there. There's a chair there, and kind of go in that
I
area.
was gonna say,
rather than
there's
standing.
literally a chair right there.
Oh,
Just
okay.
remove
Yeah,
the
that's what I
frame
thought.
tonight.
Yeah, you can do that too. And that's actually a good spot.
I was about to say there's no chair.
Friends, we have another friend.
Exactly.
Yeah. Would recommend. It's not if you're coming to Crimson Peak to watch Ghosts, you've come to the wrong movie. There are ghosts in it, but it is not
Well, I'm gonna go to watch Ghost with
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze. Yeah.
I want to see Casper with Devin Sawa.
Well, I want to see Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby.
So,
I want to see Ghost in the Shell.
so time out. So Crimson Peak, okay, they
I'm
have
gonna
a
see
themed
Topper.
house at Halloween.
Topper. Yes.
Halloween Horror Nights, right?
Yes.
Crimson Peak.
There's.
Okay, if it's not scary, why they make a Halloween Horror Nights?
Well, I think they could still make a haunted house,
Do
like
you
a
know-
ghost type haunted house.
Okay.
Don't get into the
No,
story
no.
too much because I don't know too much and I don't want to know too much.
Universal did not want this movie to be rated R.
Yeah.
So because it was rated R, like literally all the funding for the film is from Del Toro and Legendary.
Yeah.
Universal, the only thing they did to it was release it, and they're like, well, we might make money off this, so let's put it on a haunted house. They're literally trying to recoup like money.
Yeah.
That's their only purpose
Yeah.
here.
All right. So I want to show you guys something. A few of us have seen it already, but Zach has not seen this, so you may want to turn the screen so that he can see it also. Catherine did something new for us.
Oh,
We did a video, our first real video review, something we're going to be experimenting with.
Oh,
And
cool.
I'll just show that here on the screen for those of you who have the ability to watch, and you can hear it also. It's pretty entertaining. You'll see.
Hello everyone, it's Catherine Holder, contributor to CultureSmash.tv. Getting a little tired of typing all the time, so I figured I'd just talk to you all about the next thing that I'm reviewing. I just got in some fabulous products from none other than George Takei, known as Sulu from Star Trek, the original series, but also amazing LGBT
Can you see this,
rights activist. He's
No,
You don't have your-
I can hear
hilarious
it.
and probably one of the most intelligent and well-spoken human beings in the United States.
I got too much going to turn it.
Just awesomeness. So anyway, we have two incredible products from the wonderful man. So first is, I don't know which one's my favorite, but this one is probably the more applicable bleh, to my life. So this is the George Takei pen. It swivels out right here. Is that what you can write with it? and you have something happen to you while you're riding, you just go.
You should be watching this, Zach. This is for you, buddy.
For example,
All right.
if I wait tables, I serve, and if somebody says, if I say to somebody, "Hello, my name is Catherine, and I'll be taking care of you today." Water. You're with your boss, and your boss says, yeah, I need you to get those TPS reports to me ASAP. So, yeah, this is what you do. Teachers, even better for you. A student comes up to you and says, Teacher! He touched me. It's so perfect for everything.
That may not be the best response in that situation. It's pretty good, though. It's pretty good.
Ask George.
Oh, here we go.
Button. And this is a fortune-telling type button. I know it kind of looks like the Staples button, but let's turn this bad boy on. I don't want his batteries to run out because it's quite magical. So what you do, you need to start it right away.
All right, Zach, watch this part.
So there we go.
This is
There's
for
one
you, buddy.
example of what he says. But what you do is you ask him a special question. So let's ask George Takei a question. George Takei, do you think this is a good segment?
Yes, definitely. At least I think so.
Really? Really? Okay. Well, there we go. He is a sassy gay man, which is my favorite kind of human being. Let's ask him one more question.
Here you go, Zach.
George Takei, is Zach?
Oh, come on! No!
I didn't even hear what the question is, but I really
It didn't
care.
really matter.
No.
So, anyway, these are.
Well, that's the last time I allow
They would
you
be
pictures in
excellent.
my face.
Stocking stuffers. These are stocking
Okay,
stuffers
okay.
for
That was-
whomever you love and
There
adore.
you go. So there's your review. I had to put that on there just because it cracked me up.
Yeah, that's
Well,
hilarious.
Catherine left me an opener right there, so it had to be done. But on the upside, though, we do want. I would like to hear some feedback. If you enjoy these sort of video type reviews, we could do more of them, especially for things like that are not as reviewable in a way as.
Well, it's very difficult to, because when
Yeah.
you gave me those to review, it's very difficult to review that because I mean it's all about the sound,
Mhm.
and
How do you
there's
write 500?
how do you write? Oh my! There's no way. There's
Yeah.
no way. Plus, that was a lot quicker.
Video reviews. Like, I think
Huh?
video reviews.
Well,
are awesome.
we're getting more and more things
You
like
should have just
that.
made a mixtape.
Like, we haven't actually written up this candy yet. I'm actually thinking of cutting a segment from the podcast where it was totally out of control because everybody ate too much of it, and it was a total sugar explosion, and the podcast fell apart. I think that's kind of a good review for the candy as it is.
I
First
don't think
off-
my teeth will allow me.
To what?
Because there's
Do that again.
this
Yeah.
candy is so good.
It's
I
actually.
guess we could have each of us like on a segment of like because we were all saying before the podcast started what our favorite was. We're like, I like the lemon, I like the watermelon, and then have a before and after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could do that. You know, we did do one thing kind of like that with Buzz Bites. Remember when we had Buzz
Yeah.
Bites?
Oh
for a
my
while?
gosh.
And we ate like a crap ton of them on the
Gassy.
show, and that was like caffeine candy. That was
Nathan got so gassy.
fun. Oh, leave it to Nathan to get gassy on caffeine candy. Really?
There's Nathan to get gassy in general.
That's true. That's true. Sorry for you, Matt.
That look.
All right, so let's get into movies because I actually have film ball stuff to go over, but we'll do the box office first. Number 10 over the past. This is for the weekend. And we're a little bit later in the week this week because somebody had to have help moving into their house. I don't know who that was. Nathan, Catherine.
That looks awesome, doesn't it?
It does look awesome. It's true.
I'm just saying.
You got
home is
pizza.
Where the heart is.
It's true. Did you say what home is where the heart is? Okay.
Probably.
All right. Number 10 this past weekend was The Visit. It made another 2.5 million.
In his ribcage?
Okay. See, this is one of those. Yeah.
I got it.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
It is 61 million. That was made so far on a $5 million budget, so that's pretty great.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan. The twist is that he made
What
a
the
movie.
twist?
his movie made money. That's the twist.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Everest. It made another $3 million bucks. That one's made $38 million so far on a $55 million budget. Nico, why don't you do the rest of these? Because I forgot to enlarge the print. I can barely read it. Can't you see I'm almost eating the paper here? It's like,
Number 8 is Black Mass, which made $3.1 million.
I guess we're skipping over number 9.
We already
just
talked
did.
about
He
Everest.
literally said Everest.
Pay
Everest,
attention,
3 million.
Brownie.
Yeah, pay attention.
He was paying attention like the movie going.
Yeah,
It's not paying attention. To
and we skipped over it like the movie going public.
Chase, it's distracting.
Again,
Don't bring me into this.
Yeah, don't bring Chase into this.
Hang on a second.
He's an innocent
Bad
bystander.
so Black Mass, like that thing that Zach thinks is his brain, made $3.1 million. It's made a total of $57.5 million on a $53 million budget. So it's got some money now. The Walk is at $3.7 million. A total now at $6.4 out of a budget of $35 million.
Is that open wide?
That's open wide.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Oh.
we're
Well,
gonna
then you can
have
tell
to,
because like the percentage increase is
Yeah.
138.4%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
So
that's true.
we're gonna have to go
Timing.
back and revisit those dollar amounts for a final tally on the film ball because we typically only start from wide openings. We don't do the limiteds. So we'll see how it does.
Number 6, The Maze Runner Scorch Trials is at $5.3 million. It's made $70.7 out of a $61 million budget, so it's got some money. We'll probably see a third. Cicero is at number 5. Sicario. Okay.
Sicario.
This coming from the guy who can barely read.
This
Okay.
is from the guy who really liked the movie.
Well, it doesn't help.
That's just going to encourage me to say it wrong.
It totally is.
Yeah,
Totally.
you keep on with Pacific Rim jobs, and I'll keep going with Cesario.
It's true.
Sicario's a good
I love
movie.
that film.
That is a good trade-off.
Yeah,
for
I
you.
think so.
Since I don't care how you say Sicario, I can continue with Pacific. Good.
I'll figure out something for you later.
You probably will.
Is at number 5 with $7.5 million out of it's made a $26.9 total out of a $30 million budget, so it's close. Number 4 is The Intern at $8.6 million. It's made $49.5 million, unknown budget as of yet. Number 3 is Pan at $15.3 million. It's made that. It just opened new this week with a $150 million budget.
Hold on, do you hear that? Do you hear that outside? Sounds like a bomb.
You're funny,
Sounds like a bomb.
but not
dropping.
really.
That joke sounds like a bomb.
That joke was a
See,
bomb.
that's what funny is.
Pretty accurate.
That's funny.
What
You'll
the-
learn one
what
day.
the
That's
bomb
no.
sound like?
Zach, what do you want you to tell me?
Oh.
Number
I was thinking
2.
more like the dynamite wrapped up around the timer.
Don't let Mike talk, you guys. He's been in a weird mood this week. Read my text messages, you'll see.
I don't think I will. Number
Just
2 is
random weirdness.
Hotel Transylvania 2 made $20.4 million. It's made a total of $116.9 million. We don't know what the budget is yet. And number 1, again, is The Martian at $37 million. It's made $108.7 out of $108 million. It just made its budget. And that was in 2 weeks.
So.
That was what I was saying.
Pew, 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 pew.
I,
'Cause I have Martian.
It's
I went
true.
and saw it Monday.
Yeah, we haven't really heard
I was about to say,
your...
to the people who didn't see it last week.
I've seen it now.
Okay.
You go first, Mike.
I'm sorry. I just well, I don't know what we'll see. What I think is a funny little anecdote, but before we actually talk about the movie,
There we go.
I was planning to go see it. I got on Fandango to see what movie times there were, and they were all grayed out. And I'm like, oh my god, it's selling out on a Monday night. But then I looked at my watch and saw it was a lot later than I actually thought it was.
That sounds
More
right.
available, so
Damn
Good
it.
job, Mike.
it's doing good, but it's not doing as good as I thought it was there for a moment.
Yeah.
Well,
Opinion?
yeah.
Opinion?
That was alright. Moving on.
It's a fantastic movie, but it's not as good a movie as the book was a book.
I
Yes.
wholeheartedly agree with you on that.
And it's one of those rare times that not only does the movie just doesn't live up to the book, it's just
Different.
the book kind of spoiled
It's
me.
not-
for it.
Actually, it's not. That's
I think
part of the
if I-
problem.
It's not
If I
different
had-
enough. And
yeah.
I didn't know what you guys were talking about. They followed the book a little too closely and it was nice that, like, it's literally how you saw it in the book. It's up there on screen. But when I see an interpretation, I like to literally see an interpretation. It's kind of like, and I know I'm gonna go into like mode, but it's kind of like whenever they take a movie and make it into a Broadway play, or make a Broadway play and make it into a movie.
It's kind of
when does that work?
Comparison. It doesn't work.
Yeah, because I can like, okay, one of the best.
Blonde.
But see, that was too close to it. Like, one of the best Broadway plays that was from a movie was Lion King. And Lion King, and that's
very different than the...
It's insanely different, and that's the reason why it's so brilliant, and it works so well. And you kind of have to do the same thing. You have to stay true to the story, but you need to have a nice, large interpretation. And I don't know how Ridley Scott would have done it, and it was a beautiful movie. It was insane, and I saw it in 3D, and I thought the 3D added to it. It was really cool.
Actually.
I loved the 3D. It was great. And I actually thought that, I guess it's probably because I went in with really low expectations for Matt Damon, but he exceeded my low expectations. So it's good.
I thought Matt Damon was great. Everybody else was amazing.
Everybody else was.
Matt Damon was great. Everyone else was a notch above Matt Damon.
He did. I think he did the intense moments and the disappointments and the anger and frustration. He did all that excellent. But that kind of wild exuberance.
That's what was
missing. That I remember from Mark Wahlberg. He didn't have. He didn't have.
He definitely felt kind of subdued.
He didn't pull off the humor as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you there. And that's when, Sam Rockwell would have been absolutely
Sam Rockwell is probably a really interesting pick.
I think
he's not as big of a star as
I think ultimately it gets down to the fact that we have read the book, so we have that.
Yeah.
I think if viewers, people that are going into it without seeing the book,
and they love it,
everyone they're going to be blown away.
I think that's why it's making so much money. Why it's done so well is because you have a lot of people who haven't.
You got to get more aggressive. You used to be better at this.
Haven't read the book, and they're going in. It's like, this is a really good movie.
Vulnerable because his shoulders are exposed.
Ada says, yet they complain when it's not like the book. Hey, I love Matt Damon.
She does.
She went with a friend that did not read the book, and she was amazed.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is. It's such a good movie by itself. It's just like you said, the book spoils you. And I don't know. And here's the other thing that I didn't like. I think that they added some things in there that were
added
really
an ending that was unnecessary.
They added the ending, and it was so corny. It was so corny.
I get why they added it, though, and I didn't think it was overly corny. I think it worked all right.
I hated it.
No, they needed to end it like Gravity, where it was just like
it would have been
the ending came. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but we're like
it's 2 years.
The ending, huh?
You're good.
What?
You're good at the ending of Gravity. You can go ahead and spoil it.
No. I meant for The Martian.
Oh, okay.
They need to end it where the book ended it and just be done and know that like there was that resolution and.
I actually kind of liked seeing the world move on and see what happened to some characters.
You did almost that, Mark.
I think some characters. I think it really depends on which character you liked seeing the ending of, because it does kind of epilogue with a lot of the different characters.
That's true, but I mean, like there was.
Particularly what happens with the Damon character, and I'm not going to go over that one as well. It's like his was kind of meh. Like all the other characters, I thought had better endings than Matt Damon.
Really? Because Kate Mara, I wanted to puke from like sugar sweetness.
Kate Mara's character suffered from the fact that her character and Sebastian Shaw's character, the two male-female astronauts that kind of had the thing. They didn't have the thing in the movie.
They didn't have the thing until like the very end, and then she kisses his helmet, and you're like, what?
I don't know.
And that's what I felt.
Actually, they telegraphed that, because that actually kind of.
Really?
I don't think it was that telegraphed. I was keeping a watch on that with the entire time I was watching that movie.
There were moments I think that they shared that you could kind of.
But they did telegraph it.
I think that ending was to make that obvious because it wasn't obvious in the rest of the movie. That is one of the weaker endings.
Well, you know what ending won't be obvious? Film ball.
Yeah, I'm having a problem.
So I guess we all agree.
This conversation would go a little longer.
Everyone do go see The Martian.
Yeah, I also think it's a movie that will perform better for those of us who've read the book already upon second viewings. Like I said last week, we're comparing it to the book while we're watching it. Now we won't do that anymore. We'll just watch the movie.
For the first time, which is fine. I need to see the movie again.
Yeah.
We have another chat room opinion.
Yes.
John Duggar says, I just love the visuals in 3D. That landscape of Mars was awesome. Book was great. Movie was great.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
No,
I mean, we're doing what we do best, and
We're splitting
ripping it apart.
Arguing.
Yeah, because I mean, my review was still 8.5 out of 10. I mean, I still thought it was really good.
You ranked it at 8.5.
Yeah.
That's pretty high on your scale.
Yeah, it is.
But it's really good. A lot of the things that are well done are really well done. And I may have given it a half point just because I'm happy to see Ridley Scott do a good movie.
And a lot of
You
things
know?
that initially that aren't the movie's fault. You know, the movie, it's not the movie's fault that we saw the book, and it's not what we expected.
It
So
is
it's
true
not
the movie's
really-
fault that we saw the book.
So it's not really.
I can
you
blame
can't
the movie.
Really fairly, not you object. I mean, you can't really keep from it when you think about it. But it's not really fair to ding the movie for some of the things we're.
No, of course, and it is such a good film. Period.
Yeah.
It really is. It just like the. I loved the book so much, and so it just makes it so incredibly difficult when you love something so much to see it interpreted like that.
It's like Jerry Lee Lewis said about Great Balls of Fire, the movie with
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid and
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder said, well, it was a decent story, but it wasn't my and Mara's story.
My favorite part of that anecdote is how Catherine kept it going for you.
Yeah.
Because you had no clue what you.
Yeah.
Dang it. So I have so many fantasy film ball spreadsheets from all the games that I'm having trouble freaking finding the right one.
Okay, we can
so
share
now
that.
you
Oh,
understand.
no,
Talking
you
mushroom.
You
So
could
now
probably
you
put
understand
the
all
Did you
that.
just say, oh
season
no,
of
talking
what
mushrooms?
you
Oh,
could probably put
talking-
the season therefore in the title.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing,
I
okay?
had them all titled. I was still singing the wrong one.
Yeah, twice.
Well,
No,
Here,
you said
let's
we were
talk
on
about
that.
let's talk about this. Opening this weekend is Goosebumps at 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, Crimson Peak at 71%, and Bridge of Spies at 71%.
Hold on. When did you take this thing? Because I know Bridge of Spies is up to 90% now.
Oh, that's
This
good.
afternoon.
This afternoon?
Actually, this morning.
Wow.
Okay,
Wait,
this afternoon.
Wait, what's Bridge of Spies again?
Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was up to
okay.
like 91. So.
Is it
Wow.
really?
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I took that. That was actually the first thing I took this morning. So it was
Okay,
really
because
early.
I was like, wait.
Okay, so I guess I don't get to make my joke about the
Make it anyway.
Steven Spielberg making a superhero western.
Oh, what was going to be the joke?
Yeah, what's
Well,
the
that
joke?
was-
That was the.
Oh, that was the
Yes.
joke. Okay.
Because
So
those
there's
genres
no
are
loss
gone.
really that I didn't tell it.
That went over my head.
Yeah.
Actually, I
well,
think it went over as opposed to it just fell out of his hand
just
when he
kinda-
threw it.
Kind of like the way I throw a ball.
So basically, it was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an old man taking a leak.
But hold up a second. Goosebumps is ranking higher than Crimson Peak. What up with that?
it's Goosebumps. Bia.
Yeah,
First up,
but listen up. It's a Jack Black film. Does Jack Black still make good films?
Jack Black
I don't know.
did Cocaine at 14. He can make
That's
decent
great.
movies.
But here's the deal. I feel like Jack Black is Adam Sandler, where like
No.
in his youth.
no.
Why would you
Has
not
talent,
think
There's
that?
a cash grabbing whore.
Wait,
what?
who are you more
What?
in favor of, Adam
feel like-
Sandler or Jack Black?
I feel like
Black.
Jack Black
has
is like
potential. Adam Sandler's done. He's done.
Yeah, I
He was
can,
done 15 years
I can
ago.
kind of agree with
Well,
that.
what about Spanglish? But how many years ago was that? I can't
Like
remember.
2002. Okay, so no, he's done. It's been done. He's a crash grabbing whore. And if
You
he's in a
need to
movie-
calm down,
If
sir.
he's in a movie,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
merely for the paycheck.
Calm it down.
I hate Adam Sandler.
Nathan.
I can't.
Calm down. Calm down.
That wasn't even the one that we got the bottle for.
Totally not. Yeah. Shit.
I love how it's called Nathan. Okay, it's Brian.
Yeah, you knew exactly
You
what
got
to
my
do.
hoodie more than my face.
So is film all not
He
happening?
was trying to be.
I'm going to continue to look, but let's start the first story.
All right, Mike.
Oh, hey, I got a story. Well, it appears we are zeroing in on a solid date for the final Star Wars. Not only the
There's more to that
final-
sentence.
Well, we know the
Wait a
date for the Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So the zeroing in on the solid date is for the trailer and pre-sale of the tickets. Multiple sources, including insiders close to the project and various theater chains, are reporting the date to be Monday, October 19th.
That's his upcoming Monday, people.
Yeah, so that's this Monday.
Wait, whoa!
Yes, it's this
Last
Monday.
trailer's this Monday.
Good thing I got paid today.
You and all of us, buddy.
So if I can just make it through the weekend. The final trailer for the film is said to contain all new footage from the film.
Oh, snap. I don't
The theatrical, so another one you probably want to make sure you pre-buy. The theatrical premiere for the trailer will come in November, attached to Spectre. AMC theater managers are reporting to various sites, including theforce.net, that the 19th is indeed pre-sale day, and Cinemark Theaters accidentally posted a Star Wars graphic announcing pre-sale, only to immediately pull the graphic from the internet. There still have been no official comment on this date, but apparently theaters have been given marching orders to have ticketing information submitted to online sellers like Fandango. Are there other online?
There are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
About Friday the 16th.
I don't know if anybody uses them, but there are.
So it seems to be a sure bet that 19th will be the day. Now, one thing I know when that came out, me and Zach kind of, and when I put the story up, a little bit of discussion about how difficult it will be to get those tickets.
If you're looking for a screening, to get tickets for a screening of Star Wars The Force Awakens, I don't think you'll have much of a problem.
But if you're wanting a specific...
If you're wanting the IMAX first showing or second showing, certain rows of seat that are reserved, you might be a little in trouble.
But see, that's so exciting because you know what we can do then? Culture Smash is going to be there. We're all going to cosplay and dress up, and we're going to interview people.
Are we doing it?
Awesome!
We're doing
Yes.
that. I'm down for that.
I did that with the last one that came out. I dressed up like Kick Butt Padme, like with the ripped shirt where she's in the like the arena and everything, and I had a space gun. It was awesome. It's the best.
The only time Padme was awesome.
That's very true. How sad is that?
You know, the thing that frustrates me the most about this, though, is we all want to go that same night at the same time, but somebody is going to have to be responsible for buying all the tickets at once.
Not it.
Because
I'm buying
stupid,
like 5 tickets.
stupid IMAX has got assigned seats now, which is
You know what? Fine. You can go to the one out by Cool Springs where they don't have assigned tickets.
That's not a real IMAX.
That's not a real IMAX.
I'm not doing that.
I'm sorry.
No.
It has the IMAX brand.
If the screen is half the size, the ticket price should be half.
The price. I agree.
It's actually more.
That's dumb.
Yeah, that's
brand
stupid.
weighted.
But again, we need to go where all the people are going anyway, because like I said, we're going to cosplay and we're going to dress up, mother effers.
I'm in.
Good.
You don't got to cuss me. I'm doing it.
Are you going to the 7 or 10?
When were we discussing going to the 10?
Maybe I'll just dress up as
90% sure going to the 10.
Well, I thought that's what we had to do for all one together, because the 7 is going to be really tight for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Well,
but I don't want to do the midnight. So the 10 is kind of the perfect.
I can do midnight. I could just say screw it and do midnight.
I really don't want to do the midnight.
I would say do 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
Just call out of work the next Monday. I mean, that next Friday.
Well, I'm probably going to call out
We're
late.
going
And
to
then we're going to go in late.
ticket.
This is getting very inside
No,
baseball.
because you're doing it
Okay,
wrong.
yeah,
You should
by the
just
way,
call out
speaking-
what should
wait,
happen that
Don't go to
day.
your story yet. Is
What-
your story next?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
I
should,
have them all.
what should happen that
Okay,
day
got it.
is that particularly the IMAX in the area, just 24-hour showings.
Yeah.
Just like start at 8, start at 7, and just keep going. Like
Now-
you can't make the midnight. There's one at 3. Can't make the 3. There's one at 6. Can't make the.
Here's a question for you guys.
And then you stay.
We don't have AMC here, and we have talked about this. AMC is doing a bundle pack for $50. You can buy a ticket that gets you into all 6 original films plus the new one.
What do you mean?
Whoa.
So-
There's only 3.
I agree.
What was the order that they're going in chronological?
What's
that?
What was the order they're going in? Chronological order,
Yes,
or
yes.
like a release date order, or
Chronological order is
Okay.
what they're doing. Yeah.
number
So-
order 1 through 6?
Yes. So here's my question: is since we don't
So
have
it
an
was the other way
AMC,
around.
I'm thinking of doing it here. Should we do all 6 or just actual 3?
You know, I don't enjoy the first 3, but they do change how you look at the next ones.
And someone
see
was
the whole
arguing with me
thing-
that some parts of those original 3 are going to remain in the canon. I don't know that that's true, but somebody.
I think that is probably true.
So if it
I think
is true,
Metachlorians will probably, unfortunately, still always.
I thought Abrams came out and said that wasn't happening.
Yeah,
They may not-
I
they
think
may not
George
refer to
Lucas
them
kinda
ever.
backed off the midichlorians by the 3rd.
Yeah.
I vote
But,
6.
Well, then I'm fine with that. We'll do all 6 right here, and we'll eat pizza.
Because
and
they really, the
drink
first
beer.
3,
Oh, sports.
they're a little bit painful to sit through. They do have their
The
moments.
3rd one
but
is,
they
is
really
not
changed.
horrible.
They changed the way you
I
see
love the
Yoda
but I
and
liked
Obi-Wan.
I like parts of the 3rd.
Third one is the best.
I
of the
actually
3.
don't mind the no.
No,
People hate the no,
yeah.
but to me that
It's a bit silly, but that whole movie is a bit silly, so I
Right.
think it fits that film.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that it's that character.
If it's the whole Star Wars, what's the word? Kind of
it's
gestalt.
Overly
people
dramatic.
forget that those came from those.
Space opera.
And
And opera is supposed to be overly dramatic.
Well, and it's a throwback to those black and white shorts, those
old serials.
super campy serials, just like Raiders was. So it doesn't bother me. Other things bother me. Midichlorians bother me a whole lot more. Jar Jar Binks bothers me a whole lot
No,
more.
I love Jar Jar Binks.
Oh my god.
I have a stuffed Jar Jar Binks that I sleep with every
How
night.
about terrible love dialogue? It's like sand. It's coarse and rough. And gets
The
everywhere.
whole idea
Not like
of seeing,
you.
of seeing
You're
the
soft.
little tiny Jake Lloyd and then the
And then
Natalie
Hayden-
Portman
And then they kiss.
Yeah.
and thinking, oh wait, they've got to get together at some point.
Yeah.
Remember
That's
when
just
we
was
thought that
disturbing.
Natalie Portman was a bad actress? It was all because of those films.
Well, what's his name? Hayden is it?
He's
Hayden
never
Christensen?
redeemed himself. He's never
Actually,
redeemed
you're wrong
himself.
about that. He won Infinite Spirit. He won a bunch of awards for a movie called Shattered Glass.
Shattered Glass is
Okay,
alright.
fine.
Yeah.
He's
Good.
really-
I'm glad he's redeemed himself.
No, no,
because-
That might be the only one.
The acting-
Awards are who you blow, not what you do.
Well, the acting
not
isn't
good,
reference
no.
to
I
I
don't
don't
think
think the acting of those movies were the fault really of the actors as much as it was George Lucas is a
It was
horrible
definitely
acting
George
director.
He
No,
is.
that's what it
Yes,
is,
he is.
and that's why it wasn't until Garden State that we're like, oh, Natalie Portman can act. All right.
Well, I don't know. We've known Natalie Portman can act since professional.
Well, we're talking about Natalie Portman. Let's do film after we transition into your story, because it kind of works. We'll do
Oh,
that
so you
first.
want me to go ahead and do it?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it fits.
All right.
Keep them hanging.
So-
That's the only thing you're here
Yeah,
for.
film ball's
So
coming. It's
We'll
coming.
push it back.
Lucasfilm has no sort.
Thanks, Zach.
Damn it. Sorry, Zach. Okay, Lucasfilm has no shortage of interesting directors involved in the new era of Star Wars. J.J. Abrams kicks things off with Star Wars The Force Awakens, followed by Rian Johnson on Episode 8 and Colin Trevorrow. Is that right? Trevorrow? It
That's
looks like
close.
tomorrow, but Trev.
Something like that.
On Episode 9 with Gareth Edwards and Phil Lord and Chris Miller tackling upcoming Star Wars story spin-offs. But where are the women? The president of Lucasfilm is a woman, which is excellent, but with each new director announcement, we can't help but wonder why it's so difficult to get a woman on board. I agree. In an interview with Fortune, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy revealed some wonderful facts about women working behind the scenes on Star Wars. Quote, 50% of our executive team are women. 6 out of 8 of the people in my story group are women. I think
Oh, God,
it's
no.
making a huge difference in the kind of stories we're
Mike's
trying
taking
to
pictures
tell.
again.
What?
Mike's
Oh,
taking
with the
pictures
camera.
again.
I
Yeah.
didn't know if you were saying that about the story or not.
No.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'll throw a ball at your head.
Okay.
And that may be so. The Force Awakens features Daisy Ridley in a lead role, and if certain rumors are to be believed, she may be the new central protagonist for the franchise.
I don't
picking
need to
up-
know that. Movie's not out. Don't need to know it.
Oh,
Zach, this isn't like you spoiling freaking Lego Movie for me. This is something completely different. Shut your brony mouth.
that's right. Shut your brony mouth.
Alternatively, it's payback.
You could
As
have
I
figured
was-
that from the.
And it's also speculation too.
Yes, exactly. As I was saying, and if certain rumors are to be believed, she may be the new central protagonist for the franchise, picking up where Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker left off. Rogue One touts Felicity Jones in a lead role, and recent reports have suggested that Episode 8 has not one, but 2 lead roles for women. Woohoo! Kennedy assured fans that Lucasfilm will hire a woman to direct a Star Wars movie. It's not a matter of if, but when. Quote, it's going to happen. We are going to hire a woman who's going to direct a Star Wars movie. I have no doubt. On the other hand, I want to make sure we put someone in that position who's set up for success. It's not just a token job to look out and try to find a woman that we could put in a position of directing Star Wars. If we do, we want to bring a woman in who to direct the Star Wars movie. We want to make sure that it's somebody who's passionate and really, really, really wants to do a Star Wars movie. We don't want to talk somebody into doing it, which I totally agree with.
Okay, gun to your head. Who would you hire?
Catherine Bigelow.
Other than Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow.
Other than Catherine Bigelow, because that's the only female director
That can
I
do
know
action.
competent enough to do action, and is.
It's not about. Did you say competent? Because that would probably get you squirted.
Oh no.
Because
Should
I don't.
we get the director of Babadook to do this?
I don't agree with you about competent. We might be pulling a Matt Damon here. Because, go ahead.
If I were to have a gun put to my head, even though I know it might be kind of weird, but I'd love to see what she would kind of do with it. Julie Taymor.
What did you tell me a movie?
Oh, she's freaking awesome, guys. She did.
You probably will know a movie when you say it.
Titus Andronicus, and then Frida,
Frida,
and then she was the one who did, like I said, the whole Lion King thing. She's very much a visionary.
Well,
I would love to see what direction that she would put in, because I know that they would still put that stronghold on her to make sure that it was still Star Warsian, but she would put a nice little dark spin
this is
on
where
it.
I'm gonna pull.
I think I know her. I think she directed the Spider-Man play.
I know.
She did direct the Spider-Man play,
That's
so
where
she knows
I was like
superhero
that
stuff.
name.
Okay.
I
I know. I've seen Frida. Frida is a good movie.
She also did Across
Oh,
the
and
Universe.
Across the Universe, thank you.
Oh, I didn't like that.
Well, you didn't like it because it was a musical, so
Yeah.
shut your butt.
Totally. But the thing that bothers me about this discussion is, it's funny because Matt Damon just got in a bunch of trouble for something very similar on Project Greenlight. Is why do we have to say we want this type of person or this gender or whatever to do? What about the person who's right for the movie, regardless of whether they're male, female, or a fraud?
I agree.
You know,
Well, the thing is,
why is the focus on that? Because the fact of the matter is, Catherine Bigelow is an amazing action director. She's one
what
of my
has she directed?
Point Break,
Oh, okay, there we go.
The Hurt Locker,
Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30.
Oh,
She-
she is incredible.
yeah,
She
she's
could do,
really,
and
really
she can also do character, which is important because Michael Bay can do beautiful action, but he can't do character and he can't tell a story.
You can't
But
do anything other than frame empty shots, okay? Give him a break.
there, yeah, but
There are no helicopters in Star Wars.
It's
so
true.
That's right.
But my thing is, you just like Marvel is struggling with this too because they've made a decision that they want a female director and they want someone with a different ethnicity to do a couple of their movies. They're not finding anybody who wants to do that, so they are going to force somebody or pigeonhole somebody or pay them a lot of money to do it because if it's not something that what I mean.
It's a complicated subject because
If it's not something
because
that
you want to say, well, why can't we just get the person most competent? But then, if you keep doing that, are you ever going to have if somebody's not bootstrapping some of these people of different ethnicities or women into it? But then again, it's almost kind of insulting to say they have to have a leg up that they can't get their own.
right.
So, but
It's
so I don't
insulting,
really
yeah.
know
Well,
where to
it
stand
is
on it. I would
insulting.
love to see people, different ethnicities, some diversification of people doing the
Exactly.
the Star Wars movies
Your virus is spreading.
or the
I
the
see-
Marvel movies in general, or the Marvel movies.
I see the
But
benefit
it's-
because
But it's so frustrating to think that they have to, like, you have to have a set aside, or it's like
Well, I
everybody's
know.
going to
It's,
go, oh, well, that's the one the woman directed.
it's one of
You
it's
know,
one of
it's-
those things where, like, okay, one of my best friends who I toured with, he is half black, half white, and when he went to college, he's like, oh no, I did not take any African American scholarships because I will get this on my own merit. And that's kind of the whole entire thing that we're discussing right here. But the bad thing is that in the beginning, well, not even in the beginning, but most of the directors out there are male and are white. That's just the way of it. And I'm not saying that that's the way it should be and let's just placate.
No,
but
that's
that's
just
the reason.
stating the
That's
reality
stating
of
the
it.
reality of it, and it stinks. And I wish it could change, but that's the bad thing right now with them saying oh, we need to hire a women.
but
There's not going to be somebody with
Well,
enough clout behind her and
but-
enough whatever behind her to do this right now.
I
Because
don't-
right
I
now
don't-
it's a
But then
boys'
you,
club.
I
but
don't-
then you have
I
the
don't
Catherine
think-
Bigelow's
I
that
was going to
kind
say,
of-
I don't think that that's true because you've got Kathleen Kennedy, who's the president of Lucasfilm and would hire a woman in a second. That article even says, we've got directors begging to do it, and every single one of them that's calling us and saying, we love it, we want to be a part of it, is a male. There's no women calling. And the Catherine Bigelow could. There's other... there's
How many?
Coppola could call. And
Sophia Ford Coppola
No.
is not going to
No,
write
no,
a
no,
Star
no,
Wars.
Listen. I'm not.
She's not gonna
Wait. You
But
missed my.
the
You
point is
missed
she's
my
not
point.
calling.
She
She's
is
not-
powerful enough to
Yeah.
pick up the phone and call Kathleen Kennedy and say, "I want to do it," but she's not because she's
It's very
not
true.
interested. She's not interested.
Well, but again, what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that there is a shortage of everybody out there. For every 10 good directors,
Mhm.
there's maybe one female.
Well,
But
You
it comes
can't
down-
argue with me
I'm
there.
not arguing that.
It
The
comes down
percentage might
to
be
it.
a smidgen higher, but it's true.
I'm not
Because
arguing
there
the
aren't-
balance is off. I'm not arguing that.
That's why I said other than Catherine Bigelow, because when you think of competent, when I say competent, I mean like they have shown they can do really great stuff in the past. You know, female directors, you think
Yeah.
Catherine Bigelow, or
And it's a shame. I mean, it's failing
Yeah.
on my part, and
I'm not saying
that
you
I
should
shouldn't
only
think of
be
anybody.
boys. We're just saying I don't know who to pick.
It's not even that. It's just, it's one of those
Mhm.
things where, like, it's a boys' club out there. It really is. And it's a white boys' club
and it may
out
take,
there.
you know,
And it might take a little while.
It may take something. It may take somebody chipping at the facade with a pickaxe to kind of break.
You know, and
into
I'm
it,
trying
you know.
to I'm trying to figure it out because I mean there are great female directors. There are great directors of different ethnicities. I don't know.
But and again, yes, there are great directors that meet their criteria. But how many of them are there that you would trust with the Star Wars movies or
Right.
with the Marvel movie?
Right.
It's one thing to have somebody direct a $50 million movie, but to give somebody $100 million,
It's nuts.
it's it's
They need to
or
have
more.
they need to have that stuff under their belt. And what I was saying is that women have not been given the chance as much. And I'm not saying all the time like,
Yeah.
no, just not as much. Besides Catherine Bigelow, who else has been given those big budget movies
Well,
to kind of build up
I
their
love-
resume and build up their
Well,
clout?
I actually love Catherine Bigelow
And
as an
she's
example.
great.
But wait, listen. The reason I love her is because she did this 30 years ago when it was
Yeah.
way harder.
Yes,
So
of
the
course.
proof is out there. If you want to do it, make your first movie a badass vampire movie like she did and show that this is what you're going to do. But that's not. I don't see that happening as much in independent film. And I'm looking a lot right now on the festival circuit. And there's a lot of great female directors doing stuff and winning awards, but they're all dramas and comedies. I don't know why that is. Because I would love to see another Catherine Bigelow. Because she's one of my favorites, you know?
Could it be, though, the choice these women are making?
That's my point. They're not choosing to do this kind of work.
How much I think that's what it is that's what's compounding the making it seem. I don't know. Any way you go in this, you're kind of falling into a bear trap. But
It is.
It's,
Yeah. It's your fault because you submitted the story, Mike.
Ha!
Just saying.
Well, I think it's an important story.
It is a
Something
really
that's
important
something to
story.
discuss, but
Because
Yeah.
the truth
is it people that do, the women just aren't choosing to do those types of movies? How much of it is that, and how much of it that it is an old boys club and they're being locked out?
I think it's a combination
It's-
for us.
I think
gotta
it's
be
a combination of both.
but
To
where
say
is it?
it's
Is it
one or the other.
80-20 or 50-50
Because-
Yeah,
or
that I don't know.
60-40?
We're
Here's
not
the
we're
deal,
not
too.
in the game enough to know.
Well, no,
You know?
and the other thing is, too, is that when you look at what's being done, like with Marvel, and I mean, granted, it's going to change a little bit with the Star Wars movie, but I mean, I can even speak as a woman. When you want to tell a story, you want to tell not necessarily just a woman's story, but you want to tell a story that's going to be for women. You want to tell a story that's going to further, not our race, but further our people of women.
What-
So it's one of those things, and that's why Catherine Bigelow's stories
Well,
make more
it
sense.
should be you want to tell a story.
You just wanna
that
tell
will
it.
And you
relate
want
to
to tell a story,
the
that
most
too.
audience.
Because that's the part that I fear. If it turns into a story about if it turns into something social or political, I just want a good Star Wars movie.
No.
I don't
and
want
I
that.
wasn't saying that.
Yeah.
It's just more along the lines of like, I always feel more drawn to stories that have strong female characters. It doesn't even
Mhm.
matter if like they're the most protagonist. It doesn't even matter if they are the protagonist. Even if they're the villain, that's even better.
You know what
But-
I just had a brilliant thought. You know who could really create or bring forward somebody almost as like a team or a mentorship or something to bring forward a female director into this is Joss Whedon.
I was thinking the
Because
same
Joss
exact thing.
Whedon knows how to work with female lead characters. He knows how to do it. So if he were to write something and bring in a female director to take it on and direct his story, that might be the trick to making something
Maybe.
really interesting.
Because that's what he wants right now, is to be locked into another like
So you
super
just-
micromanaged franchise.
Well, no,
Joss
he would
Whedon
be the
write a Star Wars
micromanager.
movie.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't. He still wouldn't be the micromanager. It's
Wow.
Star Wars.
Well, maybe-
Disney would still.
Well,
it
no,
would
I
be
don't.
the
I know.
exact
I
same
don't mean.
situation.
I don't mean in the Star Wars franchise. I mean just in general, just
Maybe
to blow it out there.
Marvel.
Because
Alright.
the point is well taken. That I don't agree with it. I don't agree that I wouldn't agree that it's 100%. There's no women doing this because it's a boys' club. 'Cause I don't buy that because there's some great female directors with great clout. They're just choosing not to do this, but it is part of it. It does share in it. But my thing is
in the whole movie.
the part that's a valid point though is when you look at blockbuster films, the big ones in the summer, there aren't any female directors doing those.
No.
And
Yeah.
I actually think like a movie. There could be an interesting take on the Star Wars universe from a female perspective. I mean,
well, a good example is they're part of this new push with all the new books is they've actually got new novelizations of the original 3, and they've actually, and I can't remember her name, they've actually got a female author doing the A New Hope. It's like the farmer.
Oh, that's right. I saw they were doing
the
that.
pirate
Yeah.
and the old man or something like that, and I want to read it.
I would love a female perspective on the Star Wars universe, but because there's somebody out there really cool, capable, and who wants to do it, not because we're putting a point on it and saying we need
Because
this.
it's politically correct.
Because we need this.
Right. No,
That
and
bothers
I don't agree that it should be politically correct. You're absolutely right, but Nico's getting bored.
Let's get politically correct about our box office numbers.
Oh, somebody wants to film.
Oh, somebody
film.
wants to hear how much he's crushing everybody
All right.
else.
So let's see. Well, that was deep. Okay. So we've.
That was very out of character.
That's what she said.
We'll
We
get
could
more deep
get
into
deep.
that later.
We could get deep when it's necessary. We can go deep. So we've had quite a number of movies in the film ball already. The Visit, Black Mask, Maze Runner, Everest, Hotel Transylvania, and Sicario, The Green Inferno, The Martian, Pan, and Steve Jobs opened. But was that wide?
No.
It wasn't wide, was it?
No, it's
I didn't
not
think
wide.
so. The
If
Wall.
it was wide, I would have seen it by now.
Yeah. So we've got a really solid number of movies to start feeling out what's going to happen. So let's go down this list here. In the main contributor bracket, my number is currently $223 million, almost 224. Zach has $0.
Nah.
Hey, it's the long game. You gotta
Okay.
play the long game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't lose horribly at the end.
Nico's doing pretty well too. He's at well, not as well as me. 123 million. Yeah, what's up with that? And then there's Nathan, who is at 135 million.
That's fun.
Are you good with that?
Oh, I'm fine. I have Goosebumps coming out this weekend.
Yeah. Well, Dwayne is at $0 also.
You know,
So yeah.
It's like he had a plan.
It would be awesome if I did a twofer. I don't know if anybody has done a twofer in this 1-2 games in a row. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I doubt you're going to do that.
Yeah.
And the other bracket?
God help you if I do. Because you'll never live it down. The other bracket is really amusing to me right now. Catherine has $146 million, which is a pretty solid game she's got going. Hector has $162 million, because he has everything, basically. Stephanie is at $72 million. Ada is at $116 million, so she's got a pretty solid game going. And Mike is at $6.4 million.
Woohoo!
Oh my gosh, Ada's actually running.
To be
Yeah.
fair, you're beating Zach and Dwayne.
And Dwayne,
So-
this is true. This is true. So them's the numbers so far. So we are in halfway into October. So we have a month and a half in the second bracket game, and then we'll know what happens. I think I got a feeling about what's going to happen in that game.
Meh.
Also, to be fair, the lead that you have over Zach and Dwayne is smaller than any other gap between any other.
That's a good point. So
Thank you.
yeah. So,
Welcome.
Yeah. So
Well, in case you got bolstered up by the first thing and wanted to knock it
It's
down,
kinda
I can't believe
ridiculous.
you're too egotistical.
Well, I think.
Otherwise, you might be Steven.
I think
It's
the
true.
6.4 million.
no, hey, we don't have Alan in here.
That's
Mr. playing We Are the Champions halfway through the game this season. So Zach, are you regretting your game at all? Because you should be.
No, not really.
Unless you intended to lose. Because I don't know.
I'm no.
Have you guys seen estimates on what they're thinking the movie Star Wars is
I've
going to make?
seen 500 million. I've seen $1 billion. I've also seen 300 million. I've seen 250. I've seen 200. And I've seen
Oh, hey, John.
100 million.
So I'm gonna guess the 100 million estimate's gonna be incorrect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are we talking about opening weekend?
Yeah, opening weekend.
Yeah,
I still think that's probably still gonna be
I've heard
over.
extreme exaggeration to underperforming from people that just hate Star Wars.
That's crazy. I would. What do you think it's going to do opening weekend?
Oh man, I think it's gonna hit 2.
I think it's going to hit 250.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to hit 3, but it's definitely going to hit past 2.
Yeah, I think it's going to do 250, and I bet you guys top out at about 6. Because you only have it 4 weekends. I bet you guys top out
But then you
between.
split it.
Then you split it.
Well, you know,
Which means
you
right.
never know. It could do the biggest. It could be #1. It could be the #1 highest grossing.
Oh, I do think it will be the
I
number
think it
one movie
probably
that
will be.
we
I think number one, but
It'll
they're
outgross
splitting it.
Jurassic.
Yeah.
It depends.
World.
It
think-
depends. It
I
really
think
depends.
in 3 months it'll make $1 billion. Is that going to help you? No.
It kind of also depends. Because if it's actually good, if it's a legitimately good Star Wars movie.
I just don't see how it's not going to
I
be.
just don't.
I
think
know,
it's
I know,
gonna be
but that's the thing.
blockbuster.
If it's like not only is it just passably better than the prequels, but if it's a legitimately good Star Wars
You
movie,
know-
I think it's gonna make a ton of money because
Yeah.
you're gonna get people just like wanting to go back and back and
The
back and back.
Martian-
Mike went and saw the crappy prequels like 5-6 times in the theater.
The Martian
Aw.
may be kind of an indication of that. That how the Martian's a great movie,
Uh-huh.
but a lot of us were still kind of disappointed by it.
No,
The-
no,
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 we're
no.
book readers though.
Star Wars may be fantastic, but the way, because it's Disney, because it's J.J. Abrams, the way we built it up, the way we're so certain it's going to be unbelievable, we may be.
Okay,
I disagree. I
disagree.
disagree. Oh, that's true. We might be disappointed, but I disagree with the logic behind it. The reason we're disappointed for The Martian is not a problem.
No, it's not that. The reason for it's not going to be the same, but the fact that you could still have people coming out of the Star Wars, not.
You can always have that.
Yeah.
You're not going to please 100%
I
of
hate
people.
that feeling.
Sure.
And I had that feeling come out of The Martian. I hate that feeling of watching a movie that's really good,
That you know is good, that you should
but
like
you come
better
out
than
of
you
it
do.
not liking it as much as you want to, or
Yeah.
and there's no reason for it because it's really good.
Even not as well as you know it deserves.
Yeah.
But which is the case with The Martian. But
It is.
I think Star Wars has something better. Our expectations are lower because
We've come off the prequels.
Yeah, we've come off the prequel. So like I said, not only if it's passably
No,
good,
that-
it's gonna be.
If that's the case, and I may be kind of being, maybe I've got unreasonable high expectations. Maybe that's the case with the average fan that
Yeah.
they're still thinking of Lucas.
I'm not expecting.
Expectations are so much higher on this one because you're bringing back the original.
It's true.
See, yeah,
It's
I'm
true.
not expecting this
Yeah.
to be better than Empire, for instance. I do
Yeah,
not expect that.
That's not
So-
possible.
If it exceeds it, it'll be a miracle.
It will be a miracle, and if it does, it will just make huge amounts of money. It'd be stupid, but no, I expect it to be better than 1 through 3, and that's where the expectations are.
I think-
very high.
I was about to say, no, you're not.
No, I'm
I
not.
expect it to be better than Return of the
And-
Jedi.
Yeah, if it's
See, everybody wants to hate on Return of the Jedi.
I
don't
love
like
Return
but
of the
but
Jedi.
if it's on, but I think
But I always love the bad parts of the sequel.
I think Return of the Jedi is the bar of
It's
if
the-
you're
it's the
this
weakest
good.
of the
And I do agree, it's the
three.
weakest of the 3,
See,
but I think it's very arguable.
I love Jedi, but I consider it the weakest of the three.
It's
You
hard.
moments in that movie, but there is also some really dumb moments.
I think it's easy to argue that
I
it
don't
could
think
be
that's
New
right.
Hope
I'm not even
instead
talking
of.
about-
I think it's easy to argue that
you
it
should
could be.
spray him right now because I'm sick of this shit.
But anyway,
Hold on, I'm Lando. Let me pull down my mask to show the audience my face.
that's the
That's
bar.
stupid.
That's the bar. It's
I
gotta
love that
be.
you did
I
that
thought
off
at first
camera.
that you were gonna say, "I'm Lando. Let me pull down my." But not this. It was gonna be this
Yeah.
instead because it's Billy D. Williams.
You know what's going to help though? It's not going to matter because if we do all 6 movies, we'll have the prequels fresh in our mind, so it's
Yeah.
going to be bad.
There we go. Perfect.
All right,
All right.
Zach, you're up next.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh,
No, no,
about stories.
no.
No, it's
Yes,
Nathan.
last
I jumped
month,
one, sorry.
word
It's like
arrived
11 o'clock. What are we?
that Legendary Pictures was in talks with Warner Brothers to move Kong Skull Island to its former production partner from Universal in order to set up a possible smackdown or a tag team between Kong and fellow fearsome beast Godzilla. The studio has announced that it's all now official. The current plan is for Kong Skull Island to arrive as planned on March 10th, 2017, followed by Godzilla's sequel in June 2018, and Godzilla vs. Kong in 2020.
It does sound like an onion story, doesn't it?
Okay, hold on.
There you go.
Can we just get this out of the way? How tall is King Kong?
Yeah, see, that's the problem. This was the problem.
Godzilla.
This was the problem that the original Godzilla vs. King Kong movie
It's gonna
had.
be Godzilla versus Bambi all over again.
Yeah, it's the problem that the original Godzilla vs. King Kong movie had that Japan made. But it's even worse because when we made Godzilla last year, we doubled Godzilla's size essentially. And I probably am going to guess that Legendary is going to go with a generally accurate original interpretation of King Kong's size. Yeah. So that's like what, basically about
50 feet. Let's say 60.
Well, the thing is, what they're not mentioning is there's going to be a just for the web short that happens before the movie.
It's a one shot.
Where Godzilla ends up running across Rick Moranis and he shrinks him.
Yes.
Oh, Rick Moranis is coming back.
That makes me want to see it.
That would be the best thing.
See,
ever.
if you're not watching the video, you missed out because I had pictures of Godzuki up.
I don't think they missed out. I think you do not understand what that word means.
All right, so I agree, but at the same time, it's giant monsters fighting.
I'll totally see it. I'm not.
What if it's the Matthew Broderick Godzilla?
God.
Godzilla in Matthew Broderick's version is still probably 200 feet or more.
Well, hey, he's in New York City, and Godzilla gonna come and go and climb that mountain or Empire State.
What? What the heck just happened?
2 steps? How long did it take for King Kong? Like 10 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, King Kong is...
No, you're right. It doesn't make sense.
King Kong is at best
some plot point about either making.
It's going to be better than Pacific Rim Job.
At best, at best, though, King Kong is only about a quarter of the size of Godzilla. If they're going by what is generally accepted to be the size for King Kong and the modern size of Godzilla, which is over 200 feet. So it would be really cool if they keep that. I think if they have like a small King Kong, like just jumping around, beat the crap out of trying to beat the crap out of Godzilla.
Do you remember the Yoda Count Dooku's?
It could be like that.
That's true.
That was,
hey, that would be. I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Alternatively,
King Kong bouncing around.
Alternatively, we got Jurassic World where the Velociraptors fight at the top of the T-Rex.
That would be cool too, actually.
So, okay, Chris Pratt's coming in and Matthew Broderick's coming in, and I need Jack Black at the very end with his like crazy one eyebrow going, "Was beauty that killed the baby."
It turns out that Bryan Cranston lived in the last.
Yes, please. But he's actually not his character in Godzilla. He's actually Heisenberg. What he does is he gives. King Kong all of the meth in the world, so that way he goes crazy.
Well, you know why Godzilla's atomic fire breath is blue, right? It's just blue sky.
It's true.
There we go. Okay, good.
I already know they have a trailer for this movie out on YouTube already.
Probably.
It's called Monkey Rapes a Frog.
Oh no!
I think the size difference.
I don't need to see this.
Hey,
I don't.
You not do that. You know, Zach, what you can do is go and
read
read
a
the next story.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, when audiences pay to
Nice
see
job.
the limited roadshow engagement of Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight this holiday season, it won't just be the projection of Ultra Panavision 70mm photography that distinguishes it from multiplex versions released 2 weeks later. It will be longer and a different cut of the film overall.
So it'll be bigger, longer, and uncut?
Yeah.
Nice. Quote, the roadshow version has an overture and an intermission, and it will be 3 hours and 2 minutes. The multiplex version is about 6 minutes shorter, and it does not count the intermission time, which is about 12 minutes. So does that mean the multiplex version will have an intermission? Or
No, it will not have an intermission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two-time Oscar winner was not ordered to
Truncate.
Yeah,
the
nice.
film for a wider release. Rather, he liked the idea of the roadshow experience having a little something extra. Quote, nor did I want to treat the multiplex release like this left-handed version either, he said. So he tweaked certain scenes to better suit the separate viewing experiences.
Sounds like Quentin Tarantino's got something against left-handed people.
Yeah, what's up with that? That's not nice.
This is the 70 is the 70, he said. You paid the money, you've actually bought the ticket, so you're there, I got you. But I actually changed the cutting slides for a couple of multiplex scenes because it's not that. Now it's on Showtime Extreme. You're watching it on TV, and you just kind of want to watch the movie on your couch. So you're at a hot dog on a stick, and you just want to catch a movie.
Okay.
What the heck is a hot dog on a stick?
Maybe a place in California.
Maybe a corn.
Is it a corn dog with the corn?
Well, no, I think it's a place. I think
Maybe
hot
it's a
dog on a
drive-in.
stick is
Yeah, it's a place.
Or is he just referencing
$2 house or something? Is he referencing like a cheap house or something?
I mean, yeah, it may be a place in like California or something.
All right, go ahead.
Tarantino's fellow Hollywood proponents. Paul Thomas Anderson showed The Master in 70mm, and Christopher Nolan showed Interstellar in 70mm. Have released movies in the 70mm formats for years, but it's mostly reserved for repertory and retrospective programming. Panavision retrofitted lenses for the cameras during the production of The Hateful Eight and made 2,000-foot magazines to hold massive amounts of film.
Nice editing.
While
Nice.
16 70mm prints for The Master were struck and 12 for Interstellar, the ambitious plan for The Hateful Eight roadshow is playing 100 theaters. So right now, all I need to know is where is it playing, because I'm going to drive and go see it.
Yeah, the thing I like about this, and you probably don't need to read all of that,
No, that's
but Quentin Tarantino is essentially trying to find a reason for film to continue to exist. And his thought is, this is how you do it, because
you're going to get
people don't care about 35mm anymore. And he actually admits a realization to that fact in that article, saying that he just didn't understand how over it is. But in his mind, and he is right to a point, to do something in 70mm is still special and different and better. And the whole idea of road shows, it feels so retro to me. I love it. I want to go. I think we should try to go. I think it's probably going to be in Atlanta.
Atlanta would probably be the most likely option.
Louisville is a possibility, but I think it's probably going to be Atlanta.
I mean, I think he would do something in the area he's from. That kind of makes sense. But,
yeah, but I mean...
But in terms of, like, where, I guess, would be the thing.
I mean, for me, it's like, I'm going to it. Just tell me where. Where's the closest location?
And, you know, the thing that tells me, his conversation there, is the longer parts are probably long panning shots of epic scenery or something. And he feels like in a regular view where you're not seeing that 70mm, you don't need those long shots.
When is the roadshow? Like, what are the dates?
It's 2 weeks before.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks before. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, the movie doesn't come out at Christmas. The movie comes out in January.
That's right. So
yeah.
It'll be at Christmas, mid-December.
I was just mostly wondering because, like, if it came to Nashville, there's really only 2 theaters it could play at.
Is there 2?
I would say it would either be Belcourt, which is the artsy.
Belcourt.
Green Hills.
Or Green Hills. Green Hills being the most likely.
Well, it's 70mm. Yeah, I don't.
It's a 70mm.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have the.
Green Hills either one.
Belcourt lucky to have 35.
Yeah, Belcourt does.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe the Opry Mills does.
It would be Opry
The
Mills.
main reason I was wondering is because the Belcourt is closing at the end of the year.
Yeah, so it won't be here.
So it's going to be closed for about 5 months.
But because the Master, when it did its tour, we didn't get it in 70.
Well, it was only 16 locations. Let me guess, half of them were in New York, and the other half were in LA.
Yeah.
But I just love that whole roadshow feel. I just think it's fun. Yeah, I just think it's a fun thing, and I think it is a cool way to keep film alive. Now, the other way he's keeping film alive is he bought into a theater in California and retrofitted it for nothing but film. So he's making sure.
Of course he did.
Yeah. But
and also record stuff on VHS, old school.
That's true.
Stuff.
We talked about that.
Hey, he does great double features for like $7 a ticket on 35mm.
That's fun.
Every night at his theater. Okay, like
well,
you can make fun of him for only doing 35mm, but it's $7 for a double.
I love
I'm
this.
not gonna make fun of him for that.
I'll make fun of him for other reasons.
I applaud it. Yeah.
Well, we make fun of him for the VHS.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I actually love that this movie has intermission.
That's awesome.
I feel like a lot of movies should have intermission.
Have you guys ever been to a movie in the theater that had intermission?
Yes, I love it. Like all the old school movies. The last one I saw was Gone with the Wind, and it's so nice to be able to get up and stretch your legs because then it's supposed to be like the theater.
Did
go to the lobby.
Did Grindhouse have an intermission?
Mm-mm.
I know it had the trailers. Did it have
trailers.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember. That should have had.
I can tell you a funny one. I don't know if you remember this, Mike. I think the last real movie that I can remember seeing in the theater that had intermission was that Goofy movie. Remember the Goofy movie? It was a Goofy movie and a Mickey Mouse movie all in one, and they had an intermission in the middle, and Mickey Mouse's hand came up and counted it down.
Wait, like
the Goofy movie.
You know what's funny? I don't remember the movie, but I remember.
You remember the intermission, though, right? The countdown.
Yeah, I don't remember the
No. That's not a long movie. That must have been a double feature then.
Well, I think it was 2 things they had stitched together.
It
was a Mickey Mouse movie and a Goofy movie. Or something like
then it was a double feature. Well, they do that at because they do that at what is it called? The what's the theater? Is it the Royale in L.A. that Disney actually owns? I saw it there because they did
theater there. I've seen that.
Theater.
I think so because they did that with what was it with Nightmare Before Christmas, and they had an actual organ player before, and it was a sing-along. And since they added more stuff in, they actually made an intermission, and they did that. They did the hands around. It was awesome.
I wish more movies would give you like a little
like
short
Titanic
intermission.
should have had an intermission.
Intermission in
No, it
Because
didn't.
But
I thought
when I saw Titanic in theaters, we had an intermission.
that's neat. It didn't have
It
it.
did not have one when I saw it.
And Knoxville
Because
did an intermission.
It's actually, I've seen Mike laugh at me because I've made an art out of getting up in the middle of a movie, going to the bathroom, and getting back quick.
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
yes.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. All of them should have had
I run.
intermissions.
I don't think the theatricals did, but I do think the extended editions kind of do.
They do on DVD,
on DVD,
but what I've heard, like when they show them at the billboard, they
There's
don't.
no
Yeah.
intermission.
The extended editions do need intermissions.
It did not have one, and I wanted one.
All
I
right,
don't know how
so
they fit all the film in the room.
all I want to say is please
I
somebody
guess they're not on
somebody
film,
else
are
go to
they?
this
Well, speaking of intermission,
please somebody else go to this roadshow
There you go.
event with us so I don't have to ride the car by myself with Zach.
All right,
Let's say who's coming.
next story.
trying to segue, it didn't work.
No, Paramount Pictures is projecting that Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension, will open to roughly $11 million on October 23rd. Roughly half
That's
of
double. No, it's not double its budget.
and I'm going to get to that if someone would not interrupt me.
Sorry.
Roughly half of what tracking suggests it should bring in. And that's because several of the large chains have opted not to experiment with earlier video-on-demand availability. Regal Cinemas and Cinemark, the nation's largest and third largest chains, are among the several exhibitors refusing to play the movie since Paramount struck a deal with rivals AMC Theaters and Cineplex Entertainment in July to allow customers to watch the movie at home just 17 days after it leaves most theaters, rather than the standard 90 days. Shortening the window between theatrical and video-on-demand availability is a hot-button issue for theater owners who have argued that people won't go to the multiplex if they know they just watch at home in less than 3 months. But the idea won't go away for an industry facing a consumer migration away from theaters to home viewing amid increasing digital consumption. Paramount said the Ghost Dimension will open around 1,350 theaters, a little less than half of the locations in the last film of the series, the marked ones, despite the fact that the new film is the first 3D one of the franchise. Theater chains may take a similar approach to Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, another low-budget horror movie film that Paramount plans to release on October 30th with similar shortened VOD windows. Quote from Regal Chief Executive Amy: "We appreciate Paramount's willingness to seek exhibitor input and provide for exhibitor participation in certain ancillary revenues as they evaluate..."
Did you say ancillary?
That's the word. Yeah, it's the word on the page. As they evaluate alternative distribution models. However, the parameters of the current proposal, both economic and structural, simply do not make sense for us, given the potential risks for long-term health of our business, end quote. It's more than academic exercise for Paramount because the Paranormal Activity movies are money makers. Even though at $18 million opening for the last years, the marked ones, was the weakest in the series, overall it still made $32 million domestic, $91 million worldwide on a $5 million budget. This one, as to Zach's point, cost just over $10 million to produce, mostly because of the addition of 3D. It's no accident that Paramount is testing the window on horror films, which tend to be front-loaded in terms of attendance, so most people go see it early on, and later on it doesn't make a lot of money. But Viacom and Paramount is considering expanding the strategy and will assess the per-theater returns of the film as well as the VOD numbers in making the call. Okay.
See, I have mixed feelings about that because, that whole idea just pushes movies further out of theaters and more being a home experience. And I like going to the theater.
Well, I know, and then it makes us all stay at home more. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's getting into the Wall-E realm where it's like, we're all buying our groceries online and they come to us
I'm
at
just
our
ready for
home.
my hover chair.
I think it works for certain movies. I think it's economic for movies that, like this one said, it's front-loaded. It's not going to make really any money
After 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks. Like, it's done. It's pretty much spent. Everything past that is negligible.
But
it a lot of money on home video,
The
so it makes sense on
theatrical-
getting that really quickly.
But
the
then again,
theatrical argument, though, is if people start seeing, well, in 15 days or whatever, it's going to be on demand, why would I even bother to go to the theater? to start with, and a lot of people will do that.
And it's interesting. You've got them wanting to move to that, but then at the same time, you've got like Guillermo del Toro complaining about there's not any money in the home video market now, that he can't support his movies or he can't get his movies greenlit because that's where they traditionally would have made most of their money. It's almost like the money's just drying up. Period. The is there money in the video on demand? Is there money after the theatrical release? Is it comparable to what they could make in the theaters, or do you have to have a theatrical release really to make money?
I think it kind of depends really now with the ability. There's so many options.
Maybe with a $10 million movie, you don't. But
with so many options to now acquire movies, because like back in the day it was theater, and then
Video.
You could buy it on video, you could rent it at Blockbuster, and that's pretty much it. Other than catching it on TV, heavily edited with commercials. Now theater. You could buy the Blu-ray, you could buy the DVD, you could rent it on iTunes, you can wait for it to hit Netflix, you can wait for it to hit Hulu. You have all these variety of different options to watch a movie, and I'm pretty sure with all the competition, they're keeping prices really low, so they may not. So the back-end people like Guillermo del Toro aren't making a lot of money.
How much is Netflix paying for a movie?
Yeah.
John Duggar in the
I was
chat
about
room
to say
says that they want us to go to the movies, make a movie I want to see on the big screen. It's like music artists complaining about pirating music. Look at Foo Fighters. They still make most money off of touring. Netflix versus Blockbuster. Adapt or become a dinosaur.
And that's simply been true.
Well,
for music,
most music artists, that's all they've been able to do for the last 10 years.
That's been
Yeah,
true
it's been that
anyway.
way for a long
So,
time.
but no, I mean, like movies that are going to be cinematic events, I think they are still going to
Hateful Eight.
And this
Or
gets
no,
back to
Hateful Eight's a good one, but that's definitely more kind of artsy because it's freaking Tarantino. Star Wars is never going to go, I'm going to do this one video on demand first. That one is going to be in theaters first. It's going to be mass market launch, and that's going to be something that I'm definitely always going to go see in the theater first.
Yeah, but blockbusters typically only account for about 3 months of a year. You know, it's all the other movies like this one.
Yeah, and this may lead to less movies going to theaters, and that will definitely change, I guess, how they figure out that they find their fans.
Yeah.
But then maybe that would be kind of a good thing because, you know, we were just saying with intermission, we're missing the grandioseness of the movie theater. You know, it kind of disgusts me. I don't know about you guys, but it kind of disgusts me whenever people go to the theater in their pajamas. It's a big deal to go to the theater. You should like
take
put
it
on at least a
I
nice
don't
pair of jeans.
care if people are wearing pajamas in the theater.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I don't care. As long as you're, not rude in the movie.
You know
I
why
don't
I
care.
why I do care is because those are the kinds of people that don't take it, make a big deal out of it, and they're the ones who will ruin the movie. They're the ones who will text and talk on their phones and stuff.
$12 or $13 minimum to get in to see something with.
Yeah.
As long as you can wear whatever you want, I really don't care. The lights are off in the movie. As long as you're not talking or on your phone or something that is going to distract me from the movie, I don't care.
This sometimes is the advantage for paying the extra money for IMAX. People who pay for IMAX typically shut up and they're there to enjoy the movie
That's
and
true.
the experience of it. But I mean, it's hard to pay $18 every time I go see a movie.
Yeah, that's like when I go see something at our second run $2 theater and there's like
People use it for a babysitter.
a couple of assholes in the back talking in the movie, and we'll tell them to shut up, and they will or whatever. But it's still the fact that it's like, oh well, I paid $2 to see this movie.
Yeah.
I know the experience I'm paying for.
Yeah, it's true.
Also, another thing that this article didn't talk about, and this is something I actually looked up, is anyone tired of Paranormal Activity?
Me.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, guess what? This is the last.
And I haven't even
all I wanna
seen
know-
past the first.
I'm sorry.
This is the last one.
Go ahead.
Say this is
No, I was
the end
saying,
of
and
the
this
story.
is I've only seen the first one, and I'm tired of all the
I've
paranormal
seen
activity.
all of them, and
Of course.
I don't. They're making this one completely different. It looks more like kind of like an Insidious, where they're actually bringing the figment, even though it's
Guys.
lost footage.
Well, if they were to take the Paranormal Activity franchise and turn it into like an anthology thing, where the stories are all different kinds of ghost stories every time, that would be fine with me. And
Kind
I
of like
would,
an American Horror Story.
Or
yeah, or every
VHS.
or VHS, something like that would be fine. I liked the first Paranormal Activity, and I liked the second one. The others I don't care for.
I like the third one, but
Yeah.
You have to look at it from Paramount's point of view here. Also, this is the last Paranormal Activity movie. They know their interest is waning. just screw it. Put it on.
Yeah, but the problem
on
is
demand.
what they do influences the industry as a whole with this, and that's the issue.
Well, I mean, but the other thing that we haven't really discussed is it may not work. It's an experiment.
Yeah.
I mean, it could fall flat on its face and not make money on
And,
video demand.
you know, I want to say
in which
this,
case, then it could end up just killing that idea.
I feel like I'm different. Like, I'm not as typical at viewing on-demand stuff. I tend to forget and lose things, both in on-demand. I either forget about it or I lose it in the mix of 100 other movies that are dropped on demand that are straight to on-demand.
I have that with
Stuff.
with Netflix. Like, so many things happen on Netflix. It's like, oh yeah, I want to see that, and I never get around to it.
And then I add, with Netflix, that's what happens on demand. With Netflix, I add everything to my queue, and I've got 60 movies in there, and it's like I never get around to
That's
it.
exactly it. Yeah.
It becomes too hard to pick what you want to watch in a queue. And
You
just
need a
go
queue
watch
for
stuff
you.
that-
Then I just lay there and watch
Always
Food
said
Network
it.
all night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thing with on-demand. So if this, I'm more likely on a fluke because I have nothing to do on a Saturday afternoon to drop in the theater and see this than I probably am to watch it on demand. I will
Well,
have
that
forgotten about
does
it.
give you that urgency to go see it because you know it's just going to be in a theater so long.
Well, but see, it's not an urgency kind of movie. So it's just going to be one that's...
Well, if you want to see it in the theater, it is.
But you also
Yeah.
got to think about our area as well. Regal said, no, we're not going to play it.
Regal's
said-
not carrying it, yeah.
Carmack said we're not going to play it. Well, guess what? Guess who are the only theaters?
Yeah, we don't-
Compton
we
or
don't-
Smyrna or...
We don't have
Yeah, the
Cinemark.
Malco may have it.
Smart.
Yeah.
Malco,
the
I don't
Malco.
know if they're going to play it.
Yeah, they didn't say they
Whoa.
weren't, so they might.
We still have Malcos?
We have one.
We
Where is it?
still
Smyrna.
we only have
Oh.
one.
Yeah, we only
I
have
think
one.
I didn't know they still existed.
Huh?
That's probably
Gallatin.
Well, that's getting a little inside baseball.
Gallatin got one.
That-
Gallatin does have one now.
We're getting a little inside baseball there, but the
Inside
truth is,
baseball aside.
it now...
Well, speaking of Netflix,
Well, but bringing it back to this,
No, speaking of
one thing I want to
Oh,
know
wait a
about
second.
this
Can I read
is
this one?
how close is the eighth dimension? How close is the ghost dimension to the eighth dimension? Is Butler Bonsai?
Oh, God, see.
Well,
Why did you guys
speaking of
let-
Netflix,
I would go see that movie.
Wasn't worth
The
it.
day after that movie
Just
comes
saying.
out, if it turns out it was a good time.
Yeah, I'm with you. I shut up. So you can...
that's okay. Is it okay if I read it this way?
Because you can text Brooke while you do it.
I can't text Brooke while I do it and say hi to the boy. Hi, boy. We'll play Lego Maniacs when I get home. Oh, is that what we do? Or put together a puzzle? Okay, what do I have here? I don't know what I'm reading. Netflix just keeps the hits coming. At least we hope they're all hits with the release of the trailer for their first ever Christmas special. The star-studded special title of Very Merry Christmas is directed by Sophia Coppola. That's who you were talking
We're
about.
talking about Sophia
Yeah.
Coppola's range.
We were.
Yep.
And written by Bill Murray. Along with Murray, the film features George Clooney, Miley Cyrus, oh my,
Oh, there's
Amy
Paul.
Poehler, Rashida Jones, Michael Cera, Jason Schwartzman, Chris Rock, and more. The synopsis is...
Michael Cera's still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Wet Hot American Summer the first day.
Oh my gosh, she was so good at it. Okay, back to Dwayne. This winter,
Back to the wing.
Bill Murray brings an extra special dose of holiday cheer to Netflix with the premiere of an all-star musically driven holiday special, A Very Merry Christmas, set inside New York City's iconic Carlisle Hotel. A Very Merry Christmas opens with Murray preparing to host a live international holiday broadcast. I don't know why I make him so excited when he's doing that, but
Because
that's...
he totally is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. After a blizzard shuts down the production, he makes the best of the situation by singing and celebrating with friends, hotel employees, and anyone else who drops by. Count me in. Oh, hey, Brooke.
So it is basically lost in translation again.
Yeah, kind of.
I love.
Just in New
I'm
York and at Christmas time.
all for
I'm
this.
really
Like this
genuinely
sounds like the
wanna watch
best
this.
thing ever.
Just the cast alone, Miley Cyrus, I'm tuning in.
How can you
I
not watch it?
can't
It's like
wait.
a crazy mix of people. It's like all his friends are being in a project with him.
Yeah.
I hope.
I will watch this.
I'll watch it.
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
Unless it gets lost in the other 60 movies that I have in my queue.
No,
Yeah, I'll
this,
watch it.
this is going to be something that I have to watch
Yeah.
like when it airs.
This is
I'm
probably-
excited.
that's probably water
the
cooler
main
viewing.
thing. You'll
Like,
be able to
right when it
slide
comes
over.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
that's right. That's how I always remember Orange is the New Black, because they put it there
Yeah,
forever. When
this
it's
is and this is going to be one of those that they just like pop up all the time. This is going to happen like right when it comes out, midnight, whenever it comes out, done. 'Cause it's everybody that I love,
and it's
everybody.
and it's a traditional. It feels really traditional in a way. It's a Christmas special,
and it's going to be a musical Christmas special. How am I not?
which is
gonna
the
love
only
it?
one of the only times I will concede musical. is
There we go.
for Christmas.
Good.
Speaking of conceiving,
Oh,
Fox and Marvel appear to have been
Because
moving
stories
further
is-
along with their
Yeah, what just happened?
conception to get X-Men on TV faster than we thought. They have 2 shows planned, one for Fox Television and one for the FX network. First up, for the Fox network, is Hellfire. Set in the 1960s, the potential series centers on the Hellfire Club and a young special agent who learns that a power-hungry woman with extraordinary abilities is working with a clandestine society of millionaires to take over the world.
I
You
love
should
that
work
you
in
did the
a-
Disney villain
yeah,
thing as you laugh.
true.
X-Men movie producers Lauren Schuler Donner, Bryan Singer, and Simon Kinberg will team with Marvel's TV Jeff
Loeb.
Loeb
Yeah, it's Loeb.
Like
and
Lisa.
Jim Chori, and 24 alumni Evan Katz and Manny Koto to executive produce. The pilot is being written by Patrick McKay and J.D. Payne. The second Marvel Fox TV project is being made for the FX network and is called Legion.
That was
name-
a really crappy movie.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not that one.
A name X-Men fans will recognize as the alter ego of Charles Xavier's son, David Haller.
I have no clue about this.
The pilot introduces the
Not an
story of
X-Men.
David Haller. Since he was a teenager, David has struggled with mental illness. Diagnosed as schizophrenic, David has been in and out of psychiatric hospitals for years, but after a strange encounter with a fellow patient, he's confronted with the possibility that the voices he hears and the visions he sees might be real.
Boom, boom, boom.
Dun-dun-dun.
Once more, executive producing are Lauren Schuler Donner, Bryan Singer and Simon Kinberg, Jeff Loeb, and Jim Chori, joined by John Cameron from Fargo. Executive producing and writing Legion is Noah Hawley. Yeah, the EP and showrunner for Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
While Hellfire is only in development stage, FX has ordered a pilot for Legion. The pilot for Legion will be produced by FX Productions and Marvel Television, with FXP handling the physical production. Hellfire is produced by 20th Century Fox Television and Marvel Television, with 20th Century handling the physical production.
Do you know anything about this Legion thing? Is it?
Yeah.
Do you? I have no clue. I don't know anything about
Well,
that.
I mean, it's basically the description. Like
It's pretty much that.
Xavier has a son that he didn't know about, and he is a mutant with some sort of like reality warping powers and has this schizophrenia. So yeah, that's pretty much
Okay.
accurate.
All right. To me, I don't know. I think both of these shows sound like they'll be around for 3 episodes and go away. I just don't think. I don't know.
I could see Hellfire lasting longer than Legion. Legion, I don't know how they're going to approach it. I would really have to see it.
Yeah.
If it took, like it has Fargo talent on it, the Fargo approach of just being like
That
a
part is the one
miniseries.
that interests me. Is
And honestly, that's probably how it should be in general. Like you could do a miniseries, like this season is Legion, this season someone else, this one someone else.
Oh, okay.
I think that might be cool.
Yeah.
I could see Hellfire lasting if they keep it away from X-Men as much.
Yeah.
And don't really go into mutants really in it all that much.
I don't.
Like I don't even know what character they're using. Maybe Celine, because I doubt they're using Emma Frost. Is
I
that
doubt that because Emma Frost has already
so?
been established.
So I'm
in the
guessing
movies.
maybe Celine. It depends. I'm kind of curious to see what direction they take it in.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you want to pick up a Blu-ray this week, there's a lot of choices. The Aladdin Diamond Edition just came out.
We just got it.
Did you?
We did. I'll review it for you.
Awesome. But those Diamond Editions, I've reviewed some of them in the past, and they've been really good.
They have an entire segment of all of the Genie's outtakes, so you get to hear
Oh, nice.
all of Robin Williams' banter.
All 6 hours.
That should be pretty entertaining.
Probably. I am all for it because I already owned the special edition DVD that came before that of Aladdin. It's like you guys with all the that stuff. This is me and Disney. I have everything.
That was descriptive.
That was descriptive. I feel a little
Very
demeaned.
specific.
I felt demeaned.
No.
Yeah.
I don't really.
He's the lucky
All right.
Speaking of demean,
Exactly. Have you guys seen Tomorrowland? Is
I
out
saw
this week?
Tomorrowland.
I mean, have you seen the way they're marketing this Blu-ray?
No.
It's
No.
completely different than the way they marketed the movies. You don't even see George Clooney in the ads.
Really?
It's all about the little kid and the awe of Tomorrowland. Yeah.
Huh.
So all 20 seconds that they show in the it's not 20 seconds. It's more like 2 minutes in the film.
Of the little girl? Or do you mean like the
Tomorrowland.
teenage girl?
Well, I guess she's a teenage girl. She's a
No, Zach, she's in there a lot.
No, I was talking about the sequence, the Tomorrowland sequence, other than the third act.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I was just asking if you guys have noticed that George Clooney's
It's
not
like
in any of the
one
ads at all.
shot,
It doesn't
it's like
matter.
going
Which-
through
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
so next up,
Do you get a special pin with it?
No, you don't.
Oh, come on!
that I do think that should be the special edition.
You should get the pin with it. That'd be awesome.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
The Tomorrowland.
The
pin.
Tomorrowland pin.
No, I don't know. What
Yeah, it's all good.
It
Don't
was
worry
in
about
the
it.
first
I
trailer.
guess you didn't watch any of the
I-
marketing trailers.
I vaguely paid attention to them. Yeah.
So right.
All right, so San Andreas, the 2D and 3D versions are out. Land Before Time is out. on Blu-ray.
Yay!
Mad Men: The Complete Collection. Corinne will be happy about that. Right?
Yes.
She loves it. I
She
love
loves
it too.
Mad Men.
I do too. Dope is out. I wonder if you could buy that with Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah.
Well, you could go see the movie with Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, so Bates Motel Season 3 is out. Matchstick Men, which is actually probably one of the last decent Nicolas Cage movies.
This was good.
Well, yeah, but he's not.
Drive Angry.
Drive Angry was awesome
Cheesy, good.
because of it was horrible, but it was horrible in the right way.
This is how they used Nick Cage in the best of his
Oh,
abilities.
yeah, probably right. All right, so also Mosquito, the 20th anniversary edition, is out. Nakatomi Plaza Die Hard collection.
That's what I kind of want.
That's
Okay,
cool.
I kind of want it because if you go look it up, it looks like the building. But does it really make sense to have all the Die Hard movies in there? Because only one of them references or has anything to do with Nakatomi Plaza, right?
Well,
First one.
but it's still such an
I
iconic.
like the first three.
I was about to say.
But it's the best. The first one's the best.
First one
But
is
it
best.
is the most iconic. It is a very iconic image, especially like
shot of him jumping
off the building.
Explodes.
Yeah. So if you look it up, it's actually a pretty neat box. I won't lie, I kind of wanted to. But it includes the two last ones, which were bad.
Oh.
So yeah.
For you, Die Hard wasn't
Here's what you do.
bad.
Live for Your Die Hard was actually
okay.
was okay.
Hey,
But
y'all
that
want
last
Die Hard
one,
6 prequel?
Last one was bad, but I had a lot of fun.
the Russian,
Yeah.
Russia, it was
Hey, you want a Die Hard prequel?
no.
Well, guess what?
I know.
Too bad.
I know, it's coming. All right, so and then we've got Edward Scissorhands 25th anniversary edition.
That one's exciting.
Yeah.
At least the prequel is coming from the guy who did Live Free, and not the guy who did the last one.
Yeah, it's true.
The point is, I don't think we want this.
Nah,
I
I
never
agree.
asked for this.
Kind of depends. I might want to see a return to a younger John McClane, because older John McClane's the one that we're kind of having problems with.
Yeah, it's true.
No, the problem is horrible stories. Horrible.
Well,
direction,
and I think a
horrible
good
editing.
part of it is because his standards are so low for action movies now, because he doesn't want to do them.
Yeah.
All right, so what's out comic book wise?
Comics this week. For Marvel, we have Chewbacca, #1, limited series about Chewbacca. I really want to check this one out, but I bought way too many books and I left this one on the shelf. I just want to see what his dialogue looks like. Guardians of the Galaxy, #1, that one got rebooted. Miss Marvel, #19. It's the last issue before it gets reset after the whole Secret Wars
And that's a
thing.
character you could dress up like.
As
Spider.
Miss Marvel?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, she'd probably be a better
Miss
Captain
Marvel?
Marvel, but yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Spider-Gwen, #1, and Spider-Man 2099, #1, also both resets. From DC, we have Batman, #45, Constantine the Hellblazer, #5, Harley Quinn, #5, Justice League of America, #4, and Superman, Lois and Clark, #1. That one is basically a Lois and Clark Superman, as if the New 52 never happened. So they're still married and everything.
That's so weird.
Yeah. And on other titles, we have Age Sapien, #23, Sex Criminals, #13, Star Trek Green Lantern, #4, Swords of Sorrow, #6 of 6, the last one of that series, and Wicked and Divine, #5, or #15.
No new Bitch Planet.
Not this week.
I just like that name for a comic. So the only thing that I've actually had time to look at, I did look at the Spider-Man. What did you think?
The new one?
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I went to the comic shop yesterday.
I saw your pictures on Facebook.
And I got a lot of books.
Yeah, you did.
One of I had to go to 3 shops because 2 of them didn't have one. The ones I was looking for.
If my heat ever goes out, I could get your comics from yesterday and keep the house warm for 2 days.
Yeah, pretty much. The new Spider-Man was pretty good. It definitely goes. It's basically Peter Parker decides, I can run a company and be successful. I'm really good at this science stuff. I'm just gonna do that and also be Spider-Man.
I'm kind of interested.
It feels like he's kind of learned from the Superior Spider-Man Doc Ock thing, and that he's not wrong. I could run my own company and do all this stuff, but not be an asshole. So, and that's basically what it was.
So he becomes Bruce Wayne.
No, he becomes Tony Stark, and they make fun of that. They say you're a poor man's Tony Stark, and he's like, well, yeah, because I actually kept my salary. I don't make a lot of money, but he's still witty and bantery. I like a lot of stuff, and you actually see him crossing over. He's in Spider-Man 2099 because he hires Miguel O'Hara to work for his company, and he brings in older Spider-Man characters like the Prowler, who I haven't seen in years, is in this book. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I liked it, but my only concern is with Spider-Man. What always made him interesting and relatable is the struggle.
The Everyman,
yeah, the Everyman struggle.
I don't expect this to last long, maybe a year, but
maybe this whole thing will fall through and he'll be poor like the rest of us again.
But I think that's I think it's also an effort to distance itself, because there will be the Miles Morales Spider-Man, which will be that struggle Everyman Spider-Man that's going to happen. Which I think that's what the point was. Is like, let's make Peter really the amazing Spider-Man, and let's let Miles be the Spider-Man that everyone else wants. Yeah. And they I really do like the fact that in Spider-Man 2099, he's trying to not be a Spider-Man anymore. And when Peter is telling us, like, hey, you should be a Spider-Man again, he's like, you've got freaking Miles, you've got Spider-Woman, you've got this person and this person. You've got enough Spider people.
It's true.
I've also read the new Invincible Iron Man, which is now being written by Bendis.
I picked it up. I haven't read it yet.
It's decent. He gets Tony Stark pretty well. That's pretty decent. Not a lot of stuff happens in the book, but I mean it's Bendis in the first issue, so I'm not really surprised.
It's always all about setup.
But I like the character. I like how he manages Tony Stark. It's funny. There are good witty bits. I also read Doctor.
He always handled Tony Stark well in the Avengers.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, which is being written by Jason Aaron, the guy who writes Thor, and that's really good.
I picked it up.
Really surreal. I had a lot of fun with that book. I'm looking forward to it. And Doctor Strange is kind of definitely this mystical badass.
And what I wonder, and part of the reason that I'm really curious about it, is I'm wondering if any of what they do now with this reboot is going to have anything similar to what happens in the movie. The big battle axe thing kind of throws me off a little bit, though. I mean,
slight spoiler: he doesn't use the axe in the issue. Yeah. He uses a sword. He doesn't use the axe, but it makes sense at the time when he uses it. He goes back and forth between spells. He does it's really good for anybody who's not familiar with Doctor Strange.
And I think that was the point.
Yeah, the first opening is a very quick recap of, hey, here's what happened. It's me, and it goes over a lot of the basics. So it's a really good introductory book.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, there you go. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
It's understandable. We had a big show, a lot of Star Wars
big
stuff.
Big show.
Big show.
Yeah, for those of you, Matt and Chase, uninitiated, when the word, I'm surprised it didn't happen in the chat room tonight, but when the word Star Wars come up in the script,
you brought it upon yourself. There were 2 Star Wars stories in this.
They were submitted by multiple people, so I had to include them. But when those come up, sometimes the chat room goes, oh no. Because it always brings about epic discussion.
Well, if you notice, the chat room basically was like, bye, peace.
Well.
Who said that?
They didn't say it, but they just went, puts it on.
Well, Ada had to go handle some business.
Oh, she had to handle some business?
Yeah. All right, so Nico, where will we find you on the web?
You can find me at all finer social networks under Nico Scream, and you can also find me at the Geek Media Expo coming up Halloween weekend, so really close from now in about 2 weeks. So geekmediaexpo.com. It's in Nashville, Tennessee, the Sheridan Music City Hotel. Great, huge Halloween weekend party of convention, a lot of costumes, a lot of great geeky events. So check us out, geekmediaexpo.com.
Yeah. Catherine?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those great things, and YouTube at Catherine May Holder. And May is spelled M-A-I.
Nice.
And it's not Asian.
It's not.
It's not.
Mike?
It's
Scandinavian.
Yes. Well, actually, that is the German spelling of May. Now you know.
I should know that. I had 2 years of German.
Wow.
Doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
Where
No.
will we find you?
Probably won't, but if you look, you can probably see me at Google Plus under Clovis Chitwood or at CultureSmash.tv.
Nice. All right, let me switch the camera over here. All right, Nathan.
Looks like you're doing something.
You can find me on Facebook, or you can find me on Instagram, Nate70471, and you will start seeing me here more regularly.
Awesome. This is a good thing. Yeah.
Good news.
All right, Zach, go ahead.
You can find me on
You have
Instagram,
to.
Master of the Mixer 71. You can
Hey,
also
we're done. Thanks, everybody. Have a good
We'll
night.
see you next
find
time.
me on
Yeah.
See the Dangerous Mutant Lunatic, and you can also find me petting Kaylee until she falls asleep.
That sounds really awful.
It really does. Yeah. I forgot to mention that I got the Star Wars beta that you were talking about, the game beta.
Oh yeah.
So we'll talk about that in post show because I just got it. So
How did you get it?
it's on the Xbox One now, buddy
Oh,
boy.
okay.
Mhm.
X-Bone.
Xbone for life. All right,
Xbone.com.
exactly. So you can find me
Generation Xbone.com.
all of the social networks. Just look for Culture Smash. You will find us there. The Instagram is starting to get a lot of traction for some reason. I guess people enjoy seeing pictures of Blu-rays because that's what I've been doing is posting pictures of things that we're going to be reviewing. So, but yeah, let us know what you think of Catherine's video review. If you like it, we'll do some more. That'll be a fun little new thing for us to do. I guess that's it. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Wingapo. Bye, everybody.